I've heard so many times, oh, my doctor said not to squat. How do you poop? How do you go and sit on a toilet if you are not squatting? I want to see it. Doctors that have told their patients not to squat. How are you going to the restroom? Do you have a handle that you stick your butt out? No squatty, no potty. Today, guys, we're talking about multi-joint movements and why they should be the mainstay of your strength program. So what are multi-joint movements? Movements that involve more than one joint to them as you move. For the purpose of this video, we're going to stick to squatting, hinging, horizontal and vertical, pushing and pulling. That's 4 to 6 movements, depending on how you want to look at it. We are going to stay away from the Olympic movements. Again, there's great value in them, but for the purposes of general population, there's a high risk reward for them. You can really easily injure yourself. It takes a lot of time to teach people, and it takes a lot of time for people to actually do them correctly. So in this video, we want to talk about those exercises. We want to talk about some of the benefits of those exercises, and then how you can start to incorporate those exercises into your own program. So squatting, hinging are your major leg movements. Squatting, you get a whole lot of bend at the knee, a little bit of hinge or bend at the hip. With hinging movements, again, big range of motion in the hip, little motion in the knee. Horizontal and vertical, pressing and pulling. Upper body movements, again, a whole lot of movement in through the shoulder and in through the elbow. So again, compound movements, they hit a lot of muscles, and you are going to hit almost every single major muscle group within those 4 movements. Okay, that's why there is so much benefit. Not only that, they are time efficient. They don't require a whole lot of equipment to perform. You can hit most of your major muscle groups in those movements. They translate to hundreds and hundreds of different variations. We do those things naturally almost every single day. They burn a whole lot of calories compared to isometric or isolation exercises. They add a lot of lean tissue as opposed to cardiovascular exercises. When doing them correctly, you're going to get similar benefits to like a HIIT style workout. We'll talk about that more on intensity and your recovery periods. But again, you get cardio benefits from doing strength training correctly. You're going to improve your range of motion, stability, mobility, and flexibility when doing these things with full ranges of motion. You're going to improve your strength, which is your savings account for when you get older, like me. My ability to put on lean tissue is starting to diminish just a little bit. So I want to make sure that I build up as big a savings account. That way when I'm 70, I'm still able to lift and feel good and move good and do all the things that I want to do in life. It also improves muscular coordination for those that have a hard time with balance and stability, and that's a big thing. Strength training is going to help to improve that. There's also hormonal benefits to strength training. This is going to be a big portion of the video of why you should be strength training and why you should be doing these movements. Sex hormones. So we all want our sex hormones to be optimized. Not only is sex pretty awesome, but it also translates to more energy and just feeling better. It improves our sexual function. For the ladies out there, out of line estrogen levels have been linked to osteoporosis, heart disease, and general hormone dysregulation. So make sure that you are getting strength training. It's especially important for you guys out there, you gals out there. Another hormone that's released during strength training is growth hormone. Again, that ability to regenerate and rebuild your body. IGF-1 and insulin. So insulin growth factor number 1 is beneficial in creating BDNF. There's all your abbreviations for the day. BDNF is like Miracle Grow for your brain. So it's great for your brain. So again, huge benefits. When it comes to insulin, again, your insulin sensitivity and regulating type 2 diabetes is really beneficial. So again, especially for those populations, if that's a concern for you, strength train. As far as like the mental benefits, so I've referenced this. Lifting is like my meditation. It's my time that I dial in, and it's just me and the bar, and there's nothing else going on in the world. If there's something going else on in here, it's hard for me to focus on that major lift. So again, this is like, it's your few moments to block out everything else. It's very therapeutic, very meditative. Not only that, but you're going to release endorphins in your brain, which makes you feel relief, makes you feel a little bit of relief from pain and positive feelings, helping you regulate your mood. They can also help to balance out some of those stress hormones. I know I had another one on there, maybe not. So let's just move on. So how can we incorporate squatting, hinging, horizontal pushing and pulling into your program? If you have never done this before, or if you're a master, get comfortable with your form, okay? Learn how to do it correctly for your body. Every body is a little bit different. Your foot position might be here, my foot position might be here. If you can see that, it's really, really little change. But again, you gotta play around with it, especially if you are new to lifting. If you need a certified coach or you need a little bit of help, reach out to me, reach out to a certified personal trainer out in your area, figure out how to do these things correctly. It will save you a ton of time, energy, and possible injury. You want to make sure that you are under control. So keeping stability, again, that's where that core comes into a big place. So you want to make sure you're keeping stable and in control the entire time. Don't just swing things around. As big of a range of motion as your body will allow you. So again, here's where we talk about the no squatty, no potty. I have heard so many times, oh, my doctor said not to squat. How do you poop? How do you go and sit on a toilet if you are not squatting? I want to see it. Doctors that have told their patients not to squat. How are you going to the restroom? Do you have a handle that you stick your butt out? Anyway, as big of a range of motion as your body will functionally allow. So again, it shouldn't be painful, but use big ranges of motion. When it comes to rep ranges, usually there's 3 wheelhouses that you want to stick to. 3 to 6 is going to be a little bit more towards strength development. 8 to 12 is going to be a little bit more towards muscle building. And then 15 to 30 is going to be a little bit more for muscular endurance. You are going to get strength and muscular growth benefits from all of those rep ranges. They just have a little bit more of a shade towards one area of emphasis. Okay? You've heard me talk about this, and if you haven't, reps to failure. You want to go about 4 to 1 reps to failure. So if you're going 4 reps to failure, and I ask you to get 5 repetitions, you would not be able to get that 5th repetition. Okay? Then as you're pushing your 4 to 1 reps to failure, progressively pushing yourself week over week, every about 8 to 6 weeks, or 4 to 8 weeks, you want to take your reps to failure about 8 to 6. So again, every about 4 to 6 weeks, give yourself a little bit of a deload week. In my opinion, when it comes to pushing to failure, I'm 40 years old. I hardly ever do it anymore. The risk-reward benefit just isn't there. Okay, unless you are a competitive athlete or you really, really want to know that your body's absolute limits, pushing yourself to 1 rep to failure is totally fine. That's a rep that you're really grinding out, you're really trying to push through. Okay, in my opinion, going past that, not worth the risk of injuring yourself. Okay, your typical rest periods, again, we just talked about our intensity. Your typical rest period is going to be about 1 to 3 minutes. So again, that's where those high intensities and those recoveries come into play. You want to master that style, okay? So what's going for your body? So if you've never done strength training before, you want to master those movements over about a 3 to 16 week period. And then once you've mastered that, once you've built that solid foundation, every about 4 to 8 weeks, you want to switch up, or about when your body stops to see progress in that movement. So again, if I'm talking about my bench press, and I've been bench pressing for about 6-7 weeks and my progress is starting to stall out, I want to maybe switch it up to a wide grip or a close grip chest press or incline press. That's my primary movement. So guys, that is why you should be doing compound movements. That is what compound movements are, and that is how you can incorporate them into your program. Okay? If you like the video, guys, please give it a heart. If you've got any comments, please comment them below. If you know anybody that thinks that would benefit from this, please give it a share and subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, start doing compound movements. Everyone should be doing compound movements, and everyone should be doing strength training. Your life literally, and your quality of life literally depends on it. Hopefully you guys liked the video. We will talk to you soon.